So we can start the second class now. Before 6, everything should be done. And this one will be on hypermedia. Objectives for this class is that at the end of the class, you should be able to define what you mean by hypermedia, what you mean by hypertext, and hyperlink concepts. You should be able to describe the available tools that can be used to develop hypermedia. Explain what relationship exists between multimedia and hypermedia. Then be able to distinguish between hypertext and hypermedia, and describe how multimedia documents are organized. That is just our plan for the class. So we just do our best to see how we can move at a better rate. So definitions. Hyperlinking, you've heard of it before. Hypertext markup language, you've heard of it before. Hypertext. So what do you mean by hyperlinking? I think what you mean by hyperlinking is that it is an index which allows for jumping around to different sections of electronic documents such as ebooks, web pages, and so on. Even when you're on your phone, you are reading a news item, it tells you that there's a particular information they are trying to refer to. They will color it with blue, underline it. If you tap on it, it will open a new page. That tapping, what you just tapped on is a hyperlink. It will open up to a new page, which is supposed to be an address that will move you from your current location to the page you are looking for. And when it takes you to that page, you will need another hyperlink to bring you back to the page you just left. Otherwise, you are not coming back again. So you call that hyperlinking. You are just accessing an aspect of information. While you are still accessing it, you can be directed to another aspect of that information, which is not present in that page. So it is the hyperlink that will move you from one page to the other. And if you want to come back, another hyperlink will bring you back. The hyperlink on its own, even though it is color blue, on the surface behind it, the URL is hidden behind it. When you just point your mouse pointer on the hyperlink, point it, look at your status bar at the bottom of your screen. You will see the URL typed out there. That's to tell you where it is directing you to. Hypertext markup language, HTML, has features that allow a person to build hyperlinks to other web pages or locations on the same page. Hypertext is a text, a normal text, but it is no longer normal. So why is it no longer normal? Because it is a text that contains link to other texts. Every text is supposed to be linear. When you say linear, they are continuous. They get to the end of the line, you continue like that. But when you have a hypertext, the moment you click on it, you are no longer following that line. You are now moving to another page. So it's no longer linear. So a hypertext is the general term that's applied to clickable text. Text you can click or tap with your finger on a touch-sensitive screen. Once a user clicks on a word or words, he's then taken to a different document or another area of the current. And that brings us to our big organ, hypermedia. Hypermedia refers to multimedia systems that include non-linear structure of information units, events, and discrete media. Hypermedia can be considered as one of the multimedia applications which combine materials in many media, like text, graphic art, sound, video, and animation. So hypermedia is the aspect that combines everything about multimedia on the same system. So it is non-linear. And they are all delivered via digital computer or other electronic means and provides a link structure through which a user can navigate through elements. Hypermedia is a general term applied to clickable media. Once a user clicks on a particular word or graphic, what happens is taken to another text, graphic, sound or sound files, animation or moving video. The World Wide Web is a very good example of hypermedia, whereas a non-interactive cinema presentation is an example of standard multimedia due to the absence of hyperlinks. And most of the modern hypermedia, they are delivered through electronic pages from a variety of systems like media players